Because this whole world exists to do one thing: to make human beings into the divine nature, to make human beings learn what love is and what love is not. The more we follow, the more we learn, and not only learn, it's not in our heads, the more we are transformed. Let's continue on in this great book of Philippians, just a few verses down, and we'll see how this salvation occurs, how this transformation occurs. In Philippians 2, and beginning in verse 12, Paul continues on in this tender letter, saying, "Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to act according to His good purpose." So do we see how this salvation works it out? Yes, he says, work out your own salvation. We do participate. But who is doing that in our lives, both to will and to act? For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to His good purpose, to have the grace to hear and the grace to respond. We just need to follow and make sure that we're not quenching it, not getting in the way. And when we do, the miracle takes place. The miracle of Christianity. That's why it's not a religion. It is the God who made the universe and all that is within us, who made us, coming to live in us and change us and make us something new that we cannot be on our own. It's not a religion. It's not conformance to some proposed set of beliefs with rewards and punishments. No, it's the living God living in us, changing us, by a miracle transforming us, freeing us from our slavery to self, and making us partakers of the divine nature. For it is God who both wills and acts in us. God Himself. We now, joined to God, can think and feel and act like God. We can think and feel and act in completely new ways, and it changes everything, especially our relationships. Because now our relationships are no longer rooted in self, even our loving ones. Again, back at the beginning, we said, sometimes it's the ones we love the most that we hurt the most. Why? Because even in that love, there is still that admixture of self. Now, in this miracle, this transformation that is Christianity, it does change everything. It changes all of our relationships. And first and foremost, most of all, it changes our relationship with God. And if our relationship with Him is built in fear and in guilt and in shame, it's in a very wrong place and needs to be dramatically transformed to where we have a love beyond anything we have known. Indeed, Christianity is to fall in love with God. Nothing less, nothing more. That's all of what life is, to fall in love with God. And by falling in love with God, we fall in love with all His creation, all our brothers and sisters. The one love that transforms the whole world. Another book someday when we have time for that. One love, a married man's affair with God. That's what it is. It is this transforming love that now forms our new relationship with God. We were not capable of loving God like He loves before. We were capable of these fear-based relationships or guilt-based relationships or gratitude-based relationships. Now, we are capable of relating to God as God has related within Himself for all eternity. It changes everything. It banishes guilt and fear. And it allows us to relate to God as God has always done so within Himself. Remarkable. Truly changing. So, to partake of this life, we need to change the way we look at God, the way we interact with God, the way we are with God, the way we love God. Even those who have been walking the Christian journey. If we've not come to this point, it's time to change. Change the way we relate and love our God. But that's the subject of our next session. For now, since this is the end of a major section, the implementation plan, I'd like to take a moment just to quickly review so we can put that all in perspective. So just as we said at the beginning, what is the means of this salvation? It is the Holy Spirit which comes in to change what we are, the process of sanctification, to make us partakers of the divine nature, to transform us from the human nature to the divine nature. But it doesn't just happen. God doesn't go bam like that. It is a process by design. And we'll speak about that another time as well. And we have alluded to it in the past in that subject about overcoming sin. But it is a process, and the process involves the voice of the Holy Spirit within us. As we have the human spirit, we have the godly spirit. It prompts us towards good works, towards selfless love, because it is God who wills and acts in our lives, as we read in Philippians. We follow the lead, that voice within us, not towards any old good works, but towards works of selfless love, the works of God. So in summary of this whole section, the key to the implementation plan is to be transformed, follow the lead of the Holy Spirit. The Christian Journey Book and the full-sized, full-quality, complete video series are available for free download at www.spiritualoutreach.com.